99% of the time, when women are unhappy in relationships, you can summarize it where she'll feel, I gave and gave and I didn't get back. Her problem is she gives too much. She has to learn how to receive. And trusting, by the way, is the foundation of being able to receive. And then from there comes how to ask for help, how to receive help, how to not overgive, create the balance in the relationship. And then, so that's one aspect, is lower your standards right now. Use your relationships to practice. Why? You see, you had a relationship before and it didn't work out. And you always feel as a woman, at least most women, that you did everything right. You didn't. Right. Yeah, but you feel that way. You feel that way because you tried your very, very best. You know, everything you did makes sense to you. And if he was a woman, it might have worked because you gave to him what women want and the way women think. But it's not the way men are. Constant misinterpretation causes a woman to go, I don't understand why. That then causes her to increase her mistrust. That causes the man to get defensive. And not that he doesn't have his whole set of problems. It sounds like I'm just saying, oh, women need to make the change. I'm just saying, women, if you want a different result in your life, you need to make a change and continue exploring. How did I unknowingly sabotage my past relationships? That increases trust. Because ultimately, when women have a hesitancy to get involved again, it's not that they don't trust men, it's they don't trust themselves. Because ultimately, if you've ever fallen in love, there's this feeling that goes along with falling in love is, I found the one. I'm certain this is the one. And then when they're not the one, you go, I can't trust myself deep down inside. And so that's very challenging to get back on the horse again. That's what I'm calling getting in a relationship, because this is well known. If a child falls off the horse and now you don't put them back on the horse, they're going to avoid getting on horses. And the longer they avoid getting on horses, the greater their fear is inside, the greater their mistrust will be in themselves. See, this is deep inside. So it's really important that you go out and start dating again to shift that avoidance tendency, because the avoidance, whenever you're avoiding something, your brain goes into a bias towards looking for the reason to avoid. And now you have more reasons to avoid. So you reaffirm, I'm not going to get in a relationship. And now you have more reasons. You see, your brain will automatically amplify anything that causes fear inside. And this is what we have to just work with, this monkey brain that we have, and change the actual plasticity in the brain. The brain has a nature that you can rewire your brain, literally, and you can rewire your brain to have successful relationships by getting involved. If I'm talking to women, finding men that are interested in you, there's two categories. One is the man who's really interested in you and you're not interested in him. Go for it. Okay, that's always the category. Now, there's another man who's interested in you and you're sexually attracted to him. Go for it. But be aware that if you're immediately sexually turned on to a man, it's usually because he's not really interested in you. He's dangerous. He's married. He's unavailable. He's got drug addictions, but he can put on a great show for a few dates. Okay. Now, it's okay. If you haven't had sex in a while, go for it. But then make sure that you're not thinking he's the one, because he's not. The one, when you get to that place, the one is, generally speaking, someone that you feel you can first become naked with in your mind. You can share everything you think, what you feel, and he's interested, and you feel that they're completely safe to express. You're never people pleasing when it comes to thinking. And then there's the emotional side of it. You're never people pleasing and sharing your feelings, except almost any man's not going to be able to hear your feelings if you're blaming him. So leave any blame of him out, but be able to reveal whatever comes up in your soul to speak, that you can be naked mentally and emotionally. You can also express your wishes and wants to ask for him to do things for you. And you don't feel this obligation to do for him. That's connecting on the mind, connecting on the heart. then you can feel a sexual attraction that's crazy and wild, and you can trust that that means he's the one. When you get all three together, he's the one. But meanwhile, if you're a woman, you also have hormonal needs. And the biology of a woman is such that her body is made, at least up to menopause, and then we'll talk about it after menopause. The biology of a woman is she needs to be able to be a healthy woman, to be hormonally in balance. She needs to be able to fully ovulate every month. And to fully ovulate every month to mean you can make babies, evolution. This primitive part of the brain controls sex and digestion and regeneration of the body. An orgasm every month, at least one, a minimal. More is okay, but your body requires, when you go from your period up to ovulation, your body requires being able to hit your maximum estrogen level, which happens is as an orgasm. That's what an orgasm is. And your estrogen shoots to the highest level. The challenge here is that there's different kinds of orgasms. And half the women in America, according to studies, not my studies, but I've read, have never had an orgasm and don't really enjoy sex that much. Then you've got the other half. Half of those have never had an orgasm due to their partner's stimulation or with their partner. They're doing it for themselves. And then there's the other quarter, the lucky ones who have learned how to surrender in sex and have a feminine orgasm where your estrogen levels go off the chart and you experience kind of a freedom from your mind for a while. You're totally in your body. See, women are haunted by their minds. Their minds are so busy, busy, busy. But when you can peak that estrogen out, you just get a reset and you get a recharge. And that's called making love. You actually make more love. And then you go around your life for the next month and it's draining you. It's true. I mean, I have making love for me charges me up. So I have so much love to give. And then it starts draining out and you rebuild it. And if you don't rebuild it, your marriage doesn't have passion. It's something your couples really need to be mindful of. Otherwise, they lose the passion. And everyone knows that's what's happening today. And it has always happened in relationships. And people didn't mind that because they didn't think it was possible. You know, it was like relationships between men and women were primarily based on he's a provider, she's a homemaker. But now we go beyond that. We want romance. We want love. We want ecstasy. We want to feel good communication. We want to feel intimacy. But also just on a level, we want to be happy. Because when women are now way on their male side, they need even more so high levels of estrogen to bring them back to their female side more than ever. But they also have this nice, strong male side. So if they can balance male and female, they can have the greatest sexual experience that any woman in history have ever had. And likewise for men, because we can now go more to our female side with a woman, not with our drugs and whatever, and be on our male side. You see, as a man, if I'm drinking a beer, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of indulgence here, but if I'm drinking a beer produces estrogen. If I go online and do pornography, that produces testosterone and super high levels of estrogen. And then it pushes my testosterone down. And then a man becomes addicted to that. So anything that produces high levels of estrogen, other than making love, is going to cause men to be addicted to their female side. Now, some men are addicted to sex. They might be having sex with their wife every day. She's not enjoying it. You know, she's happy, her husband's happy, but he's just addicted to sex. There's actually a hormone that gets produced when a man makes love. And it's called prolactin. It can be measured. If you're making love with your wife, somebody you know and you care about, you have history with, they measure that when a man ejaculates, he also produces prolactin. Prolactin inhibits dopamine from going too high, so he doesn't have an addiction to sex. And he actually has a recovery period of 6 to 8 days where his testosterone level will be 50% lower and he'll have no interest in sex to raise it up. Then on the 7th day, this is on studies, his testosterone will double for his partner. This is how you create monogamy. This is biologically based inside of us. It was nature creating this hormone so that if a man had sex with a woman and she can get pregnant, his body produces prolactin, so he's not interested in other women. and he'll stay with the woman and raise the child. This is evolution. Hormones are there. You can measure them. If a man has sex with a woman he doesn't love or has sex alone, he doesn't make prolactin, causing him to want more sex, which would motivate him to go out and find a woman and earn his way in. But today he doesn't have to earn his way in. He just has to go online, and he gets addicted to sex very easily because his body doesn't make prolactin. So the underlying, without getting too technical, I know I get into all these hormone terms. Very simply put, if a man masturbates, he doesn't make prolactin, he becomes addicted to it. And as a result of ejaculating more than once a week, his body will never reach full testosterone levels. And full testosterone levels is where a man can fall in love with a woman and stay committed to her and stay sexually attracted to her, physically attracted to her. It goes away when his testosterone levels go down. At the same time, it's normal for them to go down. So he's not thinking about sex all the time, but he can be warm and friendly and affectionate, but not to the level of what he could be on Saturday night. So you have the romantic day, where you actually has the juice to be that romantic guy and be attentive to you, be affectionate to you. Because he's also on Sunday, he's got to go to church or meditate. On Tuesday, he's got to take care of his kids. On Monday, he's got to go to work. He got other things to do that don't require this super high testosterone romantic level. But you need to recharge. He needs to recharge every week. Maybe she does too as well. But what I've learned with women is they don't always have the same sexual experience. And I teach men, it doesn't matter if she has an orgasm every time, as long as she's happy and fulfilled. Because if she's stressed, she's not going to have an orgasm. But she needs to have one at least once a month. That's when her body requires her estrogen levels to double. Now, when you masturbate, if you're a woman, they don't double. You may have something like an orgasm. I know women do, and they think they're orgasming, but they can't have orgasm in the presence of a man. That means they're the man giving it to themselves.